clip, gotta take a trip. Slow ride when I'm off the shit. Buckle in, kid.
What's up, YouTube? Hey, today we are actually not working on a car or any of those models I've been putting together. What we're actually doing is getting ready to install what's called a SpeedoHealer on my 2015 Yamaha R1. I wish I would have started doing videos on this bike sometime last year, because then I would have had a ton of content, but it's pretty much done, and I think this is like one of the last things that I have to do. So I figured I'd throw up on a page, and any other little thing that I do from there I'll also throw up on a page for you guys to possibly follow along with if you ever needed the help in trying to figure something out. But today is a SpeedoHealer. So what is a SpeedoHealer? This is a SpeedoHealer right here. So what this thing does is if you have your bike set up for track, or it's tuned, or it's a bunch of aftermarket, whatever, the motor's been worked on, you're probably going to be off the exact miles per hour that you're traveling on the highway, street, track. I got my bike tuned last year around, I think it was October, if I'm not mistaken. And after that, I noticed that it was off. On top of that, I already had, I did the 520 Vortex upgrade kit. So my sprockets are a different size. So that's throwing off my tachometer on top of the tune. And all the other little things that I've done to the bike already. So I went ahead and I did a little bit of research, and I found that SpeedoHeater is what our best bet in trying to correct that issue. It sounds like it's complicated because the instructions that come with it really don't talk about the R1. You actually have to contact HealTech. HealTech is the company that produces the SpeedoHealer, and they will send you an email with an additional information specifically for your bike. And I think there's a few other bikes that do it. If I'm not mistaken, it's Ducati, KTM, the Yamaha with the ABS. Those are the three that you'd have to contact them and see what exactly you need to do in order to get this bike up and running and reading the proper miles per hour on your tachometer. And it's a perfect track bike out the box. Do I have any future plans for the bike? I absolutely do. I was actually thinking about changing to the 2020 Yamaha R1 fairings and switching a lot of the black that's on it to carbon fiber and lighten it up a little bit. I don't want, like I said earlier, I don't want to get too much into the motor, but that's kind of where I stand and where I'm at with this thing. It's a neat bike, like I said. It's a fun ride. It has quick shift. Oh, that's another thing. If I want to probably later on down the road add a auto blipper so that I can shift. Right now I can currently shift without hitting the clutch up. But the downshift, I had to hit the clutch. So if I add that auto blipper, then I can knock out two birds with one stone. Wait, yeah, two birds with one stone. And that's about it. There's little things here and there, like a quick release tire adjuster, and that's probably for the most part all that I've got on it. Nothing big, nothing fancy. But it is fast. It's way faster than my old R1. So without further ado, let's get hot. So what I already did was take apart the seat. I took apart the rear. If you have a rear seat, I took off the rear seat. You don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to take this piece off here because that's where I'm going to put my SpeedoHealer. And to access it, I had to take off the seat. This right here is your ABS, and this is the connector that connects right here to it. So on this connector, this connector you push down and you lift this, and then it slides off of the actual ABS connector portion down here. And on here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find your speed signal wire. And that wire is actually, now if you're already looking, what you're going to notice is that the wire is supposed to be blue and white. Well, you're probably saying, well, hey man, I see a blue and white wire there already. Yes, you see this blue and white wire, and you see this blue and white wire, and you see this blue and white wire that is also entwined with the black and blue. Ignore this one, and we are going to solely focus on. Man, how did I do it? Oh, this one, this blue and white wire, not the white and blue one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. This is the connector for my rear brake light. I'm going to need 12 volts power on a switched cable. So I'm going to use my brake light cable that's right here to do so. So I already went ahead and I cut down the middle of my SHU cable, one cable that came with my SpeedoHealer, which is this right here. And all I did was cut down the middle and separated the white and green conductors that I'm gonna need later. And what I'm gonna do first is get these power conductors on, and I want to keep the sheathing on it, so that way I can keep the sheathing on it and keep the cables protected at least down to here. And when I get down to here, I'm gonna roll these cables into the same sheathing that goes into the ABS ECU connector. So what I'm gonna do is simply run this cable into here like so. And then run this cable that I'm going to tap into just like so. When I am ready, and I'm going to tap down till you hear a click. And if you don't hear a click, you can use your pliers or something along those lines. Just like that. I can slide these cables in here, just like so. So that's back where it goes. Then I'm gonna go ahead and nice and neat. You're gonna want to take your battery out after you figure out all your right cables or wires. And if you're using a multimeter, make sure it's not set to AC current. Make sure it's set to DC current to give you the correct reading. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and cut the white and blue speed wire, the signal wire, right in half. Get it where you be able to work with both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and chop that in half. And then I'm going to take this connector just like it's not gonna work. Let's see what I got over here. Actually, it should be fine. So I cut my speed wire in half. I have this connector that comes with your HealTech SpeedoHealer wire cabling. All right, and this is a adapter. What this is, it allows you to still plug. What you're gonna do is you're gonna slide this as far as you can get it back in there, just like that. And then I'm gonna take my white cable that's gonna go into the other side. As far as I can get it back. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press down with my fingers, or in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and use my pliers and cinch it in. There's a metal tab in there, and what that metal tab is doing is actually combining the contacts between the two cables, so that way it's nice and neat, it's out of the way. So that's one side, that side's done. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this other connector, and I'm gonna slide it on the opposite side, just like so. Then I'm gonna take my green cable and slide it in, just like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and press it together. Remember, you want them as far back as you can get them. I don't know if you can see that right here. Through it is see-through. And then once you get that, crimp it together. Crimp it together nice and neat, just like so. And that should complete your wiring. Now, what I'm gonna do is tuck these cables just like this. Well, these cables are gonna go inside the sheeting, just like so. Yep. And up top here, down and out the way. For you guys that have the same bike, if you notice, I have a lot of room in there to work with. I've already emptied out some stuff that was unnecessary, and I cleared up all that stuff, and I have the room, so you can do the same. You could go and purchase this servo buddy, right? Or go and purchase the servo buddy right here. That'll get a lot of the bulk out of the way. Here's my cable for my SpeedoHealer. I'm gonna go ahead and hold off on that. I'm gonna plug it in last, but I'm gonna keep that there in place. I'm gonna go ahead and put my battery and hook all that stuff up. All right, so what I'm gonna do with my negative cable is I'm going to tie it into this connector right here, and then I'm just gonna tie it into my negative battery terminal. And that should do me right. Now I have my negative connected. Everything's tucked away, out of the way for the most part. Like that. And now we get to set this thing up. So, alright. What I need to do on the SpeedoHealer is I'm going to hold the select button just like that. And we're going to turn it on. What I should see is a T after a minute. Just like that. Okay, so that's my test. Now that I see that T, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna place this right here. Hopefully you guys can still see it. Right there. So now that this T is released, if I look at my dash, I should see any number other than 0 on the dash. And I think you guys can see right there, 22. All right, so far so good. So far so good. All right, so now that I got my T, and you guys saw that the mileage is reflecting any number other than 0, I'm gonna spin the rear tire, and as I spin the rear tire, the T should blink, just like that. So that tells us that we are good to hook. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the test, and we're gonna go ahead and set this thing up. Now, prior to that, we also have a, I guess it's a speed. This right here is a speed recall button, so it'll tell you your last top speed. I'm probably not going to use it, but I don't want to leave it around, so we're going to go ahead and connect this, just like so. I'm going to go ahead and put this where I was planning to put it, just like so. And then I'm going to run my cables under here, just like so. I'm just going to put it back here because I'm probably not going to entertain that. Unless I'm on the track and I want to recall my last top speed, and I'll pull it out. It's easy. It's right there. Okay. So that's done. I got everything installed the way it's supposed to be installed. So the last couple steps here, I tested it. It checks out. The last step here is we're supposed to go to their website, and up here you're supposed to put your factory sprockets. The Yamaha, the 2015 Yamaha and above, they come with a factory 16 in the front and 41 in the rear. And the one that I currently have on is 15 in the front, 43 in the rear. And then the tire size, if you have factory, different tire size, you're supposed to apply that too. But mine is exactly the same, so that doesn't change much. We're going to go ahead and let this do the calculation real quick. Calibration is 15.3%. All right, so how you set up your SpeedoHealer, you're going to turn the bike onto the on position. All right. And you're going to go ahead. You're going to hold the set and select button at the same time. You should see an L flash. Then you're going to release. Then you're going to press the select button till you see a dash. A light. Alright, once you turn on the bike into the on position, you're going to go ahead and hold the select and set button till you see L. Then you're going to release. Then you're going to press set until you get that minus sign. Then you can click select. Then you're going to press select till I get to 1. 1. Then I'm hit select again. 5. Select again. 3. Select again. And that completes me programming the SpeedoHealer. Then you see the numbers revert back to you. And right there, I'm done. Again, I hope you guys find this video useful, and it gets you from the point where you are to the point to where you want to be. So until the next one, this is just another G. We'll see you on the next. Oh, real quick, the G35. I'm actually waiting for a new exhaust. It's on back order. So, and I know it's been a while since I posted, but everybody apparently is buying car parts now that we're always home. But as soon as I get it, then I'll take it to the shop and we'll throw that thing on. And then until the next one, like I said, again, this is just another G. Stay up.
When it comes to my respect, eye for an eye, blood for blood, what it was. It seems to reach the end, don't pretend like it was.